was At the Speed of Light was I used that song for my senior year of high school. We did a senior project and I
Whoa.
did an art gallery of like all my own stuff, like photography, illustration, and yeah, that was on the little soundtrack. It was basically what today you would call a playlist, but like yeah, I bet that was on there for sure.
This is Pimpin' Palm, the Macam emoji, and I'm just here to remind all the players and playettes in the palm tree that if you're new to the channel, you need to hit that subscribe button, leave us a thumbs up, and turn on your notification bell. And don't forget to leave a comment below before you go.
For sure.
Man, that's a great song, man.
Tony Hawk Underground too. Exposed me to a lot. That's how I've heard trying to find a balance.
Oh yeah, that's right. You said Slug's your favorite rapper.
Yes.
That's wild.
Yeah.
What's your favorite Atmosphere album?
Oof. If it's not Seven's Travels, it's got to be God Loves Ugly. Okay. Yeah.
How old were you when God Loves Ugly came out?
Dude, I don't even remember. That like most of this shit I got hip to like later in like high school.
So yeah. So it was already out. Seven's Travels.
Exactly. Yeah, long out. Those were long.
Okay,
out.
that's
the one that came out when I was of age was When Life Gives You Lemons.
Whoa. So yeah, that's crazy. So that's like for me, it's just like I had to talk to my stepfather because it'd be like he would like when Flashlight dropped, he was outside. Yeah. It wasn't like Flashlight and I don't know which album Flashlight and Atomic Dog are on. They're all the same time.
When I hear Flashlight, that's one of my dad's theme songs, straight up. Like in the car with him, like flashlights. Ooh.
Yeah, like I just played it for my kids last night. Like that. But for you, Atmosphere is like that. Like, oh, God Loves Ugly and Seven's Travels always existed. For me, it was like I was on the God Loves Ugly tour and I like was living the inspiration for Seven's Travels.
I remember it was 2009. I saw him at the Palladium. Idea and Abilities opened for them. And he right before he did Modern Man's Hustle, he did, I got a friend named Murs. And when this song came on, he would throw his hands up in the air and wave his hands and go crazy for it. And he'd be like, and he's like, and I'd be like, motherfucker, this ain't even your song. He's like, and I got another friend named Blueprint who would just make out with girls in the front row. I'm like, damn.
Yeah, I failed at being his hype man. I was too hype. I wanted to be Flavor Flav my whole life. I think that's like, yeah.
It's like I could see you as the hype man, but it's like I'm so used to like knowing like the MC, you know.
I don't know.
URS, Helen from the far west, California, LA. Oh yes. Yeah.
You say it a lot better than I do.
Dude, that shit was my ringtone in high school. I ain't gonna lie.
I don't.
Had a little flip phone.
Now you look old. That's good. Now I'm not the only old man here.
Be 33 next month. Dun dun dun. Yeah. But Black Don't Crack. It's also the 20th anniversary of Felt 2, a tribute to Lisa Bonet.
Yeah.
So Rhymesayers just put out the album remastered on vinyl. You guys got some other cool stuff going on with that. I love that album because it's aged so gracefully. You know what I mean? Like, I still listen to songs like Marvin Gaye and Gangster Ass Tony and like Morris Day to this day. So like, tell me something about what made that album magical and what's kept it magical.
Man, it's not up to me to say magical. So I can only imagine what makes it magical, but like we were living that. Like we did Felt 1 and he stayed at my house. I was living in Buena Park at the time. I thought I was rich. And he stayed with me and we did that. We would drive from Buena Park to Encino every day to Grouch's house to do that record.
That's a mean commute.
Yeah, in my 96 Eldorado. And then we went on the God Loves Ugly tour. And I was doing Murs Rules the World, and I started off having my own set. Blueprint opened. Well, Brother Ali opened, then Blueprint. Then I went on, and then Atmosphere would go on. And then we had songs. We would do Aneurysm and probably Hot Bars during his set. And then halfway through the tour, he was like, just come on stage and be my hype man and you could do a couple of songs. Like we just merged our sets.
I was doing a review yesterday and I quoted Hot Bars as one of like the best songs with like punch in, punch out chemistry.
Yeah. So
like of all time.
Slug is a scientist, man. Anthony Davis and Sean Daly really have studied this music.
Because being that my parents are from Minneapolis originally, they moved out here in 85. Like to me, the sound of like LA and the Twin Cities is like that. You
Also,
know,
that was for you. Now,
yeah,
now I'm
exactly. It's for
understanding you.
me. Like,
Because when you said like Slug is my favorite rapper, I was like, I did not that that's not valid. He's great, you know. But coming from a kid born and raised in L.A., I was like,
yeah, raised by Minnesotans. It's like
now makes sense to me.
because at this point it's like I'm not a fan, bro. Like how you said, like still killing y'all on that indie bullshit. Legends, Rhyme Sayers, Def Jux, the full clip. Like this is part of my musical DNA.
Gotcha. So that like you did coming out some quotes, man. But that's why it's magical, right there. Is why it's
Exactly.
magical because literally that album is in your DNA, and I think that.
Yeah, because Morris Day, that beat is like some of the most player shit I've ever heard in my
And
life.
I think that's the thing. Is like it's not really me and Slug. Felt 2, and even maybe Felt 4 are not my and Slug's album. It's Anthony's album.
True that. Yeah.
Anthony will say like that's the most him anything sounds.
Yeah.
And like that's when I also like working with him, working with Ninth, like and a few I'm not gonna limit that, but that was my start of working with like producers.
Yeah.
Like Living Legends, we were all MCs, and I was getting beats from people, but I also wasn't in a place to listen. Like for Eclipse 427, when he did a lot of stuff on Good Music, he was trying to produce me, and I don't think I was listening enough.
I think Living Legends are definitely part responsible for me. Like my favorite rap songs have always been like the posse cuts, or at least the ones with like multiple verses on them. You know, I think, you know, just being from the West Coast, like, you know, thinking like Ain't No Fun and Doggy Dog World, or, you know, some
I
of
never
the
thought
genesis
about
of
that. Wow.
Yeah, because then when you sit around with your friends and you think like, oh, I'm Snoop and you're Daz and he's corrupt, and then or
I
Team
never
Warren
thought
G,
about
and then-
that. For us, it was like that was very East Coast, like Funky 4+1, Furious 5, like Wu Tang, Sugar Hill, like the multiple MC thing wasn't really a West Coast thing. Like NWA was that.
True, yeah.
But,
Oh, yep.
But like that was a group. Like it wasn't like Snoop had like Doggy Dog World and Ain't No Fun. I was on Snoop's album, but still he had like it was kind of like a version of Only Built for Cuban Links, like Ghost and like
I was slapping incarcerated Scarfaces yesterday.
Whew, that beat. Yeah. But like I was listening to Glaciers of Ice with my son. Like he's really into Wu-Tang. He's like 12 and like really finding his thing. And I was like, oh shoot, Master Killer's on Glaciers of Ice.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, but I wouldn't. It was just a thing. It was like, oh, this is Wu-Tang. Like it was just like, and like I'm like when you say that, like, oh yeah, Doggy Dog World, that was on Snoop's album, but it's a Dog Pound song. But it's, and I think that I never saw it as a West Coast thing, but like we really did do a lot of that. But like I'm like, okay, that's Boot Camp Click. That's.
But now that
Wu-Tang.
you're speaking on it, like I kind of think about like a song like Night Prowler from Tony Hawk Underground soundtrack, and I think about that song as like, you know, that does have that kind of like East Coast kind of beat, but I don't know. Living Legends to me are like synonymous with the West Coast.
I think because we say it, you know what I mean? And then like I think like a lot of it, Grouch and Sunspot, who were like, and Eli, like heavy on the bass, like they grew up on West Coast music, like, you know, Dr. Dre and DJ Quick. I
heard in an interview, Grouch was like, yeah, before our shows, we used to like, we're underground, but we would just slap nothing but like gangster rap, like Jail Felony.
Yeah, Jail Felony.
Dogpound,
the Looney's second album was like the DNA for a lot of legend stuff. Like our first tour, High Road, we played that album out.
I love that old ass video where Grouch brought out Yuck Mouth on stage.
Oh yeah.
I think he spit a freestyle over 5 on it.
Oh wow, that's crazy. Yeah, that was and getting respect from people, you know, like that was like, oh man, like we listened to that, but we stayed in our lane. You know what I mean? And I didn't think they knew about what was going over in our lane. But it's just nice to see it come together.
Man, I wanted to tell you lately, the way it's been in my car is like, I'm just like California up and down, like Diego to the Bay, mainstream or underground, it doesn't matter. And I want to credit you to making me think that way, because it's like when I first got into you and like Living Legends, you know, I was always, you know, the only one in my school like who like was really into this underground shit. But now it's like every time I mention Murs to like anybody, they've heard of you, you know.
That's great.
So, you know, the way you connected, like from Hyro to Black Hippie, who I want to talk about more, how you held the door open for them, to like Dom Kennedy, to Strong Arm Steady, and to all these different people you done rubbed elbows with. I'm like, this is really it. Like, the way in my car it can go from like listening to Odd Future to listening to like the New Evidence album, which I love, that Unlearning Volume 2, so fire. It's just like I think about you how like you can connected all the dots, and like
Yeah, I don't know if I
don't know how you answer that, but like,
I would first, so like, I'm trying to be in my lane, like all glory to God. Like I don't want to take any credit. Everybody is who they are. I had a tumultuous, not more than anyone else, but maybe different, tumultuous childhood. Like I was moving around
around a lot.
and I like my son told me the other day, it's like, you've always told me like I'm from the sidewalk, you're from the streets. And my wife said that, like, my little brother came with that term, like, I'm from the streets, we're from the streets, not the sidewalk. Like I said, like, my mom worked, and my mom got to leave the house. Even when we had my stepfather, we lived in Linwood, I was talking about this the other day. We lived in Linwood, and he had to work. I don't need to say his business, but he worked in the Valley. He worked in Van Nuys. And he had to leave at like 4 or 5 in the morning to get on that traffic. And then this is when the 105 freeway didn't exist. Okay, like this is a different thing that man had to go through to go be a plant manager, like that's a head custodian at a high school back then, San Fernando Valley, for mostly white people. My mom had to go to South Central to dry clean people's dirty clothes. And they left the house at 6,
like
7,
super blue
6 in the
collar.
morning. Yeah, and so I'm walking at 8 years old. I'm responsible for getting my 5-year-old brother to and from pre-K, me to school, him to the date, like all that. Like I've been outside my whole life, like fending for myself from 6 a.m.
Yeah, in a way, it's like you raised yourself
to 5
with the
p.m.
environment.
Yeah, like
Community.
and then that's in crack era L.A.
Jeez.
So, but then we moved to San Gabriel Valley for 3 years, which really saved my life, but also fucked me up. But now I'm able to talk to white people, and I can talk to Bloods, Crips, and I was also smoking and selling weed at a very young age before the Chronic came out.
I think that's really part of like the Black experience, especially nowadays. But I feel like LA kind of started that like code switching, because like they do call it a melting pot. But like I worked for the census on and off for years, and I just had this like really tough gig with AT&T where I had to go out and like walk in different neighborhoods. One day you're in Woodland Hills, next day you're in South Central or Inglewood.
Yeah.
So you're literally going door to door, and I'm like, this is kind of cool, but at the same time you realize how segregated LA is.
Yes.
So it's like, in order to get business done, that code switching is so vital.
But yeah, I didn't even know what it was called till the pandemic. My wife had to explain to me, because she's like, I could tell when you're on the phone with whoever.
Yeah.
And I love. I want to praise so many people when I talk in public, but the great Ryan Coogler, man, like he doesn't code switch.
He's a beast. No,
I love it, and he's been my main inspiration ever since we were on a panel at Comic-Con after Fruitvale Station, and that,
because when you put him on
pause, but like rocked my world. I was like,
when you had the clip of Ryan Coogler on your podcast, Best Rapper in LA, I immediately like had to flip over and like go find that interview, because I was like, yo, bro is just so true to his heart and soul.
Yeah, I think they're from Richmond, him and his brother. Shout out to OG Dave. Like those are just a dope couple, Black young men. But that was just like, yeah, but I grew up code switching. So, but also within the culture, like, so like I don't align myself with any nonsense anti-Black anything. You know what I mean? Like gang culture is a part of who I am, and I have a neighborhood that I lived in and grew up in. I don't say I'm from, but
if we went to Cloverdale right now, how would it be?
Oh, it's all white. It's gentrified.
Damn, what?
They moved everybody. I mean, but like we're slightly north of Pico. Like we're on the corner. We were third. Shout out to Dion from Vallejo with third, like that's why like E40 is like my favorite rapper. Something like he's from 1300 Block Magazine.
That's easily one of my favorite rappers. And as I've gotten older, people say like, "Oh, you kind of remind me of E40." I'm like, yeah, that's one of my hugest influences.
I see the glasses. And yeah,
bro. Because I found his greatest hits album, the best of Yesterday, Today, and Tomorrow. Like, because my dad was in radio and record industry. So we just had our garage filled with CDs, and that was one of like the CDs I just like found.
Oh wow, that's gold.
Yeah,
I never knew he had a greatest hits. I need that, but I have I have more. I have probably like 14 E40 albums downloaded to my phone, purchased. But yeah, like the 1300 block of Cloverdale is gentrified the fuck out. But it wasn't when in that era. But yeah, I just bounced around a lot. So same thing with indie rap. Like I was like friends with the Def Jux guys. I was friends with Rhyme Sayers. I was friends with this person. Like especially for me, once I found indie rap, that was kind of like weed for me was a way. Like I said, this is 1989, 1990 when I started selling weed. Like I'm selling to punk rock dudes. I'm selling to the Latino
fire.
dudes. Like, but it was always the renegades. Like no one. Like I used to smoke weed and kids used to say Nicholas is on drugs. Because we were DARE program kids.
Because it was still illegal back then. It was still
and it was like before Snoop came out. Like black people weren't on record. Like we didn't know Chiba Chiba, y'all. Like
Smoke Chiba Chiba.
Yeah, like that was not what every black kid was doing. Weed was not even cool for the new, like the edgy kids. Like you had to be.
And see, when I was in high school, that was when Wiz came out, and that was when like weed was like, you gotta be smoking. Like,
even when the Chronic came out, once Doggy Style came out, all the cool kids in high school were smoking weed.
For the record, I didn't start till college. So like when Currency and Wiz dropped How Fly, like I think that was either my junior or senior year. So I was bumping. It was hip hop that made me do it. I was bumping them before I started smoking. But yeah,
so I had never heard anybody rap about smoking weed. Really, I didn't realize that before I started smoking and selling weed. I was just it was street culture. I was a street kid. Like I was outside, but that gave me weed is that herb. It'll put you in all kind of circles. Yeah. So even on the punk rock kid, the Hessians wanted some. They got I learned about pirate radio and like Queensryche and things like that.
You nailed like your relationship to weed on Beta LA with Grouch.
Yeah, so that was like so I just and I went from school to school all the time. Like I got not kicked out, but I got moved from school to school. Yeah. So I went to John Muir in Pasadena for a semester. Charter Oak and Covina for a semester.
I used to go to church at John Muir actually.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah, because we stay like a couple exits away from there. So
in Pasadena?
Oh yeah.
I went to church down the street in Lincoln Avenue Baptist, where I was baptized.
Okay, yeah. I used to go to St. Barnabas too on Fair Oaks.
Oh,
yeah, across from the Jackie Robinson Park.
Yeah, woo, that's all. Yeah.
In high school, cause that down in Dina where they do
a lot of people don't know.
That was my shit. It was like super low key though. I don't think that one's on.
No, it's not on streaming platforms.
No, it's on streaming platforms.
But yeah, I was definitely. I cleaned it up for LA. I had to mention, but I have a whole song about if you don't know, if you're from Dina.
Yeah.
A lot of dudes that I don't think know my music, they'll be like, "Hey, bro, that down in Dina."
Because I feel like everybody in LA County, no matter where you're from, you've had a Pasadena experience.
Yeah, I used to go to a boys club out there and. It's like you said, like I don't think our parents knew what they were putting us into. Especially like 80s and 90s when it shifted. Like crack shifted a lot of stuff, and like my mom thought gang fights were like still maybe switchblade and a chain. You know what I mean? I'm like nah. And now that she's older, she meets like what happened to him? I'm like oh he's dead or oh he's doing life. She be like that little boy that used to come get Oreo or we didn't have Oreo, the duplex or whatever they're called. But like I'm like yeah, like it was different. You know what I mean? Like they thought we were going through something that they understood, but I don't think they understood.
On Dirty Girl, when you said next time I get hungry, I'm gonna drive to Pasadena, was that to Lucky Boy?
No. I was like, there was Jim's.
In
Lucky
my mind,
Boy.
Jim's. Yeah, but 2.49 burgers from Jim's.
That was like a whatchamacallit, with the hat, like the
hat, yeah,
like it was just like an idea. Like they didn't. I wish they had vegan burgers. They didn't, but that was just
because in my mind I always thought it was Lucky Boy.
Could be, like. It was but that's how I brought that mentality to rap.
Yeah.
And when I had the first paid dues, it was just like me asking all my friends to come together and trying to create a platform like Warped Tour for
just underground rap.
For underground rap, because if you're mainstream, you have Summer Jam, and I was watching kids get indoctrinated, and we had no way to. And we're doing these dive bar clubs, and we're the first rappers doing punk shit like. Punk rock shit, like we're in these dive bars, we're having merch tables, but we're rapping for college kids, and we're on college radio, like, and you will know us by the Trail of the Dead, TV on the radio, like that was our
TV on the radio.
That was our scene. We have the same booking agents because rap wasn't touring. We were the first rappers to kind of bring back touring. Tech Nine, ICP, Hieroglyphics,
Love all those.
Yeah, like we were out in the road getting it, but I'm like, oh shit. When I did Warped Tour, I was like. White moms are coming up, opening an event, and just letting their 13-year-olds, 14-year-olds out, and they feel safe. And Summer Jam, not in LA, but Summer Jams across the nation were kind of like that.
In the years you and Slug were at Warped Tour, like what rock bands would be up there?
I think Pierce the Veil, Thrice,
Nice.
Yellow Card,
Sweet.
Rancid.
Nice.
So
everybody else who was on Tony Hawk.
Yeah, we got to chill with them. Sum 41 was out there for a while. But yo, meeting Sum 41 kind of changed, and Pennywise like kind of.
Okay.
I was like, oh, these are known. I didn't know who they were. Then I was like, oh, these are known people, and they're out back
So
here
were you
just
guys
chilling.
the only rap group that was there?
On a main stage, yes. Lords of Brooklyn were out there too. Shout out to them. But yeah, I think on an actual, not on, we weren't on the major, we were on the Maurice stage. Shout out to Maurice. But yeah, we were like the lone wolf. But
was it after that you got the idea like to do the album with whole wheat bread?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I was just like, why aren't there more
White Mandingos?
Yeah. Rest in peace, Sasha Jenkins. Like that. Yeah, that really chapped my hide when I was like, because I knew rock and roll was black.
Right. Yep.
You know,
Berry.
Like I knew, like Big Mama Thornton. Like I knew that, and to see us not represented in the culture, I was like, oh, we can do this. And then I was told by Warner Brothers that, we couldn't. I needed a white or punk rock. I don't say this. They didn't say white. We needed an executive producer. Our producer that was
wow.
And I was like, we can't go into the studio and create an album. Like you let rappers go into the studio and create an album, but if I want to do a rock album, you have to supervise it. Like I want to do a pop punk album, you have to supervise it. I have to have, I would say, like a white person come super. They weren't like, what they should have told us was we needed production, but we needed Daryl Jennifer from Bad Brains, who helped produce White Mandingas with Sasha Jenkins. I didn't need anything else. Rise Against producer. I don't want that because I want, like Bad Brains invented hardcore. Like they are hardcore. You know what I mean? As far as American punk rock goes, they are it. Minor Threat exists because of them. The Cro-Mags exist because of them. But that's not taught. And I didn't grow up on Bad Brains because I didn't get it. And even when people saw my hair and they're like, go listen to Bad Brains, I was like, I Against I and Rock for Light were like, I was like, what is that? It took.
Again, that's more stuff I got exposed to later through, yep, you guessed it, Tony Hawk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So. I was like, and it was too much yelling for me. Like, I didn't grow up on that. Like, I'm not a punk rock kid.
Yeah, because on American Wasteland, they had that song House of Suffering, but that was a cover by a band called The Bled. And then when I looked it up, I found out it was by Bad Brains. I was like, oh, yeah, that's the black punk band from D.C. And then.
Yeah, and like, you don't know how revolutionary, like, it took me even years of getting into the music and knowing members of the band to be like, holy shit. In 1970, I think 70, whatever, 71, 77, I don't know. I don't want to mess it up. But they had a picture. Their logo is lightning striking the Capitol building. These motherfuckers, what?
Yeah, I got to go back and listen to
and they were bringing black and white people together. And that's
what I'm talking about.
That was kind of what indie hip hop was doing.
Yes.
And so like, I was like, oh, my shit started to align. Like, I'm not the first person to do this.
No.
Let me figure out how to. So I'm like, yeah, I want to have there should be a black pop punk band. Why isn't, and why does it have to be called rap rock? Why can't it just be
punk?
And like these motherfuckers, like I was around around black punk rock kids who were like, those are the first people I see like crushing up pills and snorting them, and like they're punk rock as fuck. They're like wild. I had never seen no shit like this in my life, and I'm from the hood or whatever. Like and for everyone, because you have a lot of wide fan base. Like I'm not from the East Side. You know, but that's another thing too. Is like I went to school in Hamilton on the West Side.
Right.
But every day I had to take the bus to South Central to my family's dry cleaner to work. So while I'm a West LA kid, like all my life I've been going to Central Ave, Central and Adams, to the 20s, as my friends say, the low bottoms. Like I've been over there my whole life, and not just like in the cleaners. Like I'm walking to play Pac-Man 4 or 5 blocks up.
Speaking of Hamilton, did you know a girl named Kisa?
Yes.
Yeah,
Kisa
that's
Davis.
that's one of my cousin's good friends.
Okay.
Yeah, she told me, she's like, yeah, I went to school with Murs.
Yeah.
I got another cousin, shout out to my girl Rachel out in Minnesota who went to school with Slug too.
Oh wow. So
yeah,
we're like,
it's crazy.
Yeah, and I think hopefully most people, like I've always been a weirdo. But like I said,
I love that one where you're like, yeah, they call me weird cuz.
Yeah, like leave him alone. Like I'm riding rollerblades down the street. Like, why are you asking him where he's from? it's obvious.
Like, it's obvious he doesn't bang.
He's on another planet.
But in that same token, you said on the podcast, you're like, before I knew I was black, before I knew I was a man, before I knew I was heterosexual, I knew I was a Crip.
They're like, that's what I like. That how just to give you guys like.
I wore the blue just for you, by the way.
Oh, thank you. I
Sayers.
always try to wear some red to I got my red slides on to show that I'm an adult. But yeah, man, like that's how much this you want to call it propaganda or this agenda is pushed on young black kids, like in community. We're looking for something, and like I said, my parents are gone. The only older men that I have regular contact with that are on the weekends or after hours, or I see my stepfather or my mother. They're stressed out by the end of the day. When I see these dudes in their white t-shirts and their Dickies, like they are the coolest thing ever. And that back when they had weights in jail, like motherfuckers would come home, I'd be like, you look like Hulk Hogan, but you're black and you live next door.
It's just such a strong male figure when like, the truth is you need people like that at school.
He should have been telling me to do my homework.
Like that, yeah.
Or telling me about Jesus. Like that. But that was another powerful moment in Christ I saw when my homie's dad was a preacher and the big homie came home from jail, and we had been idolizing him and hearing about him come home. He came home, he had been home a couple weeks, and we just been watching him. And then one day I seen him come to my friend's dad's house next door, and my friend's dad broke him down. And like they were just praying and crying in the driveway. And it was just like, and he's like full, like, I won't say his name, but I know his name. I know what he like. I can still see it. He was like an idol. And that was, and the whole thing's like, when I say like we all wanted to be Crips, like we didn't know any Bloods. Like we had never seen no enemies. We had never seen no action. Like it just all sounded phenomenal to us. Like we watched G.I. Joe. Violence is in your American DNA, unfortunately.
Yeah, you've talked about that on
like
your
that.
podcast.
So like I'm just like, yeah. And it's a great idea until you really start to see what jail is like. You realize like, oh, I went to elementary school that's a borderline. Oh, that means I'm gonna beef with my best friend.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Like there were kids I knew that like, oh shoot, we both walked to school from this way, and that means once we get to junior high, in Linwood, I was Hostler. Once we get to Hostler, it's problems between me and you.
Yeah,
even though
people from one hood are always like, oh yeah, I got family over there. Like
like we played Pop Warner together. Like, and then once you get to a certain age, it becomes, and that's when it'd be like, but and also like I knew that. When I made that statement, I was like, I people in my life checked me. I'm like, I knew that I was a Bowers. Like, I had a family, but like my identity outside of my family was first formed around gang culture. And I always try to give because I know that I'm not talking to black people. They're not my fans. Most of like in LA, in California, as I travel, there's people in Chicago, black folk in Atlanta and North Carolina fuck with me. But in LA, like my fan base is not really black. I always try to give them an understanding of what's going on in our community, because they just think, oh, you guys should shoot each other, you're crazy, it's just over colors. I'm like, no, from a very young age, before I knew what a Blood was, I just knew like, oh, the older dudes are Crips, and they say cuz, and like I wanted to be, I was a wannabe. I wanted to be that.
Well, when it comes to